Hellur. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Today is Monday. All day. I swear Kentucky's about to float down the river. I'm not there. I'm just watching the news updates. And I've got to paint my nails today because they look like hail. So good morning. No, I took my fingernail polish inside. I was going to say I might do that while I'm on the phone with you. But my fingernail polish is inside, so I have to do it after I get off the phone. So good morning. Good Monday morning. What's going on in your world today? Where y'all at? What are you doing? I've been working on my blueprints for the chicken coop. You gonna see what I got? Hang on. They got wet. I had to dry them out. So, last night, I drew out a rendering of what I want the front of the coop to look like. See, it got wet. I had to dry it because we left it outside last night. So, I've got to get busy on finishing the coop, and I've got to stop and see a few of my junkers today who have some things for me for my coop. So, that's what I'm doing. Listen, when was the last time that y'all played with Lincoln Logs? I found some like 2 or 3 months ago at a Goodwill. Brand new box. Brand new thing of Lincoln Logs. And I was like, I'm going to buy them because you don't hardly see Lincoln Logs anymore. And the other night, Sean was building a smaller version of our chicken coop with Lincoln Logs just to get a feel of the floor plan. And I pulled out the little action figure. Now, when I was little, it was like a little Daniel Boone looking guy and a coonskin cat, right? And now it's this little Red Paul Bunyan looking thing. And I'm like, that ain't even in the right beard to be Abraham Lincoln for Lincoln Logs. It's like Bunyan Logs. I said, you know, you'd think if it was Lincoln Logs, they'd put a little tiny Abraham Lincoln in there. You know, like with the detachable top hat and beard. And Sean said, well, if you put a little Abraham Lincoln in there, then you have to do a little John Wilkes Booth figure and hide it around the fort. And I said, well, I don't know why they stopped at Lincoln Logs. They should have done like a whole Lincoln line. You know, like you could have like an action figure that has an axe and a law book and a top hat and a beard and a long coat and like the Gettysburg Address. And, you know, and then if you save up and you ask Santa Claus, then you can get the funeral carriage and the stagecoach and the Ford's Theater. And, you know, you could get the whole Washington layout for the Lincoln Memorial. Like, I'm just saying they should have went with the whole Lincoln line. Just a thought. Anyway, but I was asking Sean, do they make grown-up Lincoln Logs? And I was like, I had a really good idea about it. I was like, what if it was like composite wood, quickcrete, a little bit of styrofoam, like movable and non-permanent logs to build structure. I said, you know, kids could build their own forts, you could build your own playhouse, build your own chicken coop, stuff like that. And I said, it'd be really cool if they made grown-up Lincoln Logs, like this they could do by themselves. And Sean said, they do make grown-up Lincoln Logs. And I said, they do? He goes, it's called a Home Depot. I was like, that's not what I meant. I meant something that somebody that was living in an apartment, wants to have a little doghouse or something outside the backyard of their townhouse and can't permanently build. We could build like temporary logs. Anyway, this is just things I think about. It's raining and snowing in Pennsylvania. No, thank you. It's supposed to get down to like 19 degrees tonight. So I'm going to take all these damn chickens back of the house. I just got them outside. I just got them out on the carport and like acclimating them to the outside. And then it's going to get colder in the witch's brew and I have to put them back in my damn kitchen. Which means my kitchen's not going to smell like a KFC. It's going to smell like a barn. Ugh. Chicken dust is hard to get out of stuff. I was thinking about the other day. I'm not going to buy any more feather dusters. I'm just going to pick up one of them Jersey Giants and start dusting all my shit with it. Sustainable dusters. Me and Sean were talking about it. You know, West Virginia, can't talk today, is medically legal, marijuana-wise. And I said, you know what's really sad is that you can go to the store and buy weed in West Virginia, but you have to buy your eggs on the street. Something's wrong with that. Just saying. How the times have changed. Expecting 4 to 6 inches of snow. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Not to add insult to injury, but I did chuckle to myself that 3 of the places that were so nasty rude to us last year, meaner than shit, wouldn't even pay us our full fee, called the cops on us, they washed down the river. I don't want to say that's karma, but, you know, maybe be nice and pay your employees, and then your business won't float away in the next big flood. I'm just saying, the 2 things might be related. They could not be, but, you know, better to err on the side of caution and treat people nice, lest the Lord come back with a vengeance. You know, that's all I'm saying. My chickens are on the porch. They have lots to say this morning. Our neighbors down the road, we've cracked up because they share the same names as both of our exes. Like, my ex-husband is Jake, his ex-wife is Jessica, and that's our neighbors, Jake and Jessica. So I call them Steve and Edna. I renamed them. I've never dated a Steve. He's never dated an Edna. And he said, you just renamed our friends. I said, Jesus did it. Jesus was walking down the road, and he was like, hey, what's your name? He's like, Simon. And he's like, no, I don't like that. We're going to call you Peter. Everybody say hi to Peter. And everybody seems like that's not my name. My name's, you know, like that brings me to my next point. I don't think that Peter denied Christ. I think he might have forgot his new name. You know, Jesus is like, hey, Peter. And he's like, is that me? And he's like, no, I'm Matthew. And he's like, Peter. And he's like, is that me or you? He's like, I'm Thomas, dude. And then finally, by the time they're like, Peter, and he's like, well, check my underwear. Is that me? And he's like, it was in the front and the back. Peter, that's my name, you know. And by that time, the Lord's like, well, him acting like he didn't even know me. I just think he forgot his new name. It can happen. I was thinking about this the other day, too. You know, you wonder about Judas. You know, wonder if he got everybody together on, like, the group text, and he was like, hey, what's everybody bringing to the Last Supper tonight? And Jesus is like, the what now? And Judas is like the regular supper, the one we have every Thursday night, the one where we all get together and just have regular supper on Thursday nights. You know, you wonder about that. You wonder why they didn't include like 30 years of Jesus' life in the Bible. You know some shit went down. You know that he was an unruly teenager, and Joseph probably got out of hand with him a couple times and was like, Jesus, you were not born in a barn. He's like, well, you know, kinda. And then he was like, go clean your room. And he's like, you're not my real dad. You know, like I can just see all this happening, you know. And you know the first time that Jesus apprenticed under Joseph in the carpentry shop, he probably hit his thumb with one of them big hammers, and he was like, Dad damn it. Mary, mother of me. Me, Mary, and Joseph. You know, you think about how he probably expressed his frustration. It's like, damn all the trees. I'd rather be nailed to one of these than to work with him again. Too far. I know that was too far. Jesus has a sense of humor. So does his daddy, or else you can't explain a duck-billed platypus. I don't care who you are. You can tell me that God doesn't have a sense of humor all day, but then you look at a duck-billed platypus, and you're like, what were they thinking? Was God just sitting around like, what if we put a duck-bill on that beaver? And then we made it lay eggs. Wouldn't that be funny? Look at giraffes. He's like, what if we took a horse, stretched its neck out 40 foot, and painted it to look like a leopard? Wouldn't that be funny? Like, look around. The creatures in the world, you're like, the Lord definitely has a sense of humor. He doesn't make mistakes, but I think he's probably questioned his own judgment at times, been like them dinosaurs, like, they didn't work out like he thought, you know? Trial and error. I'm going to get hate for that. God's perfect. He doesn't make mistakes. All right, I'm going to pull that argument the next time somebody pulls a transgender bullshit on me. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose what you want to believe. You either take all the Bible or none of the Bible. You either believe in science or you don't. You either believe in God or you don't. Like, you can't pick and choose, you know. So, the next time somebody comes at me and goes, God doesn't make mistakes, then y'all better cancel that surgery. Just letting you know, just throwing that out there, food for thought. Things I think about. Listen, it's going to get below 20 degrees tonight. And 31 of my 38 chickens have feathered out, but 6 of them ain't. The little turkey's still a little fuzzy. Do you think that them chickens would survive that frost if I just took the babies in and not the ones that have feathered out? Because I still got that heat lamp on them, and I figure they'll probably be all right. I just don't want to lift that big 200-pound brooder back in my kitchen. If I can put 6 chickens in the bathtub in a crate, that's a little different than putting 38 chickens in a turkey in my kitchen. So if anybody has any farming information for me, because I've never raised them from this little in this type of weather. So, Can I leave them outside with a heat lamp during this frost tonight as long as they're feathered out? Respond in the comments. Definitely got to take the 6 little babies and the turkey in because they're not big. They're not big enough to survive the cold. God, I'm going to have to take that whole damn brooder inside. Anyway. That's just the way I feel about it. I was trying to explain to Sean that we don't need a peacock. You know, we're doing chickens. We accidentally have a turkey. I don't think we need to add a peacock to the bunch. Because if you think roosters are loud, wait till there's a big peacock sitting in the middle of the street going, wah, wah, wah. What the, you can't. There's no hiding a peacock. It's the kind of the opposite intention of a peacock. Like they're meant to be seen. The geese just hollered back at me. Imagine if a peacock would do that. My whole yard would be full of birds. It'd be like the 12 days of Christmas up in here. See? Goose. Goose hollering back at my peacock sound. Sean had that clarinet out yesterday because he used to play it in band, and I just found that out, and we found it in the building, and he thought maybe he could still play it, and he couldn't because the reed was dry rotted. But he did inadvertently make me my own crow call. Think if I can get me a bag of peanuts and what's left of that clarinet, I could probably train them crows to watch after my chickens. So, yeah, peacocks are mean. And I have discovered this. I need some tennis rackets. Not good ones. Not new Wilson ones pull the tag off. I mean like old badminton, you know, any of that. I need like 4 or 5 of them, and here's why. I have discovered that this year when I go to fight the little Baney roosters, I'm not going to swat at them with a wiffle ball bat. I'm going to hit them with a tennis racket because it won't hurt them, and that'll shuttlecock them right back into the coop, and then they'll learn not to flog my ass when I go in there to gather eggs. So I'm trying to like be preemptive. So if I see some tennis rackets or some badminton rackets at the Goodwill, I'm going to pick some up. The squirrel has figured out how to get into my sunflower bag, and now he has started grabbing big handfuls of it and throwing it out for the cardinals, and now the cardinals are sitting on my carport eating. Everything's just working together, and it's not working with what my plan is, but at least it's working together, and you know, that's just the Lord working. I got birds coming out my damn ears. It's that cardinal. He sits over here and taunts my chickens. You know, them chickens are looking up at that cardinal like, where the hell did you get functional wings? Why are you red? Why are you so little? Where are you? What kind of bird are you? You know, that cardinal's looking down in there and being like, y'all are screwed. It's like shooting a fish in a barrel. Which is why I have a big old piece of chicken wire on top of my brooder and a big old blanket on top of the chicken wire on top of the brooder to keep the hawks and the squirrels out of it. Nature. Tell you what, we've got to get walls on this coop. I'm going to go have to wake up Sean, darling, because we got a lot of stuff to do today. And I know he's been kind of down in the dumps lately with the weather. But maybe if everybody could just go to, like, Sean's music page and follow it, or, like, leave him, like, an uplifting message. Like, hey, you're going to have a great day today. Like, he's just been kind of down in the dumps lately. And maybe that's, like, our purpose is to just pull each other out of it, you know? Like, everybody's kind of downtrodden and bogged down right now, and it ain't just because of the rain. I called my friend Amanda this morning to make sure she was okay, and she said, I'm all right. And I said, well, you're on the road, and you're one of my worst friends. I always check on your worst friends. Your best friends probably know what they're doing. Your worst friends, I was like, turn around, don't drown. She's like, I'm glad you checked on your worst friend. I was like, we're worst friends. We only talk about once every 6 months, but when we do, we catch up. So we're worst friends, not best friends. So, anyway. I had on a really cute, like it has orange on, but you can't see it because it's too cold. So, you know, my earrings are useless to match my outfit because you can't see the whole outfit. It's just cold. And I've got to paint my nails today because they look horrible, and I played the guitar with them this weekend, and that's chipped them all to hell. Chipped them all to hell. I'm rough. I'm rough on nails. That's why I can't get fake ones. Because I'd have to go every week and have them redone. So I just paint what I got, and from far away it looks good, but up close it's a mess. It's kind of like a Monet. Far away you're like, that's pretty. You get up close, you're like, this is a wreck. Picasso's like that too. Seen a lot of women that were Picassos. You know, they look really good from far away, and you get up close, you're like, oh shit, what is this? She's just held together with a lick and a promise. Some of these girls need to remember that more is not more. I have to do a little spit bath. But anyway. The next show that we're going to be at is Saturday night at the 145 Steakhouse, Roadhouse, Pit House, 145 Roadhouse. It is on, it's in Campton on 145. So come see us. Starts around 7 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock. Get there early, stay late, get you something to eat, visit with us. We're doing stand-up, we're doing shopping, we're doing music. I'm debuting new songs, I'm playing the new singles, I'm telling you the new jokes, I'm wearing the new outfit. Big night for everybody. So, come. You can still get there from here. It's not flooded. And I had somebody text us and say, I saw that you weren't going to be at Barrel 53 for like 2 more gigs. I was like, that's, just because our touring schedule is going nuts. So if you're in the Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio area and you want to see us before June, come to a show. Because after that, we're out west and you aren't going to see us. Unless you live out west. But all my local people are like, you never come home. Well, I'm going to be about 13 minutes from Irvin, so come on. If you miss it, that's your own damn fault. But I literally could go and play in some people's front yard and they wouldn't even come out of the kitchen to see me. So, if you want to come see me, you know where I'm at. SarahBethTerry.com. You can get directions on how to get there. They'll give you the phone number. You can call and ask for a table. Hope might let you do it. I don't know. But my job is to show up and play. I don't RSVP anybody. I'm calling to remind them. You're grown up. Put it on your calendar. Okay, random as hell, but you need a yummy, non-difficult key lime pie recipe. Okay, pretty easy. Are you listening? Get you a graham cracker crust. Already made. Mix you a can of golden condensed milk, the sweet condensed milk. Okay, mix you a can of that. Mix it with the key lime pudding shit. Mix your pudding first, then mix it with the condensed milk. Okay, then fold in about, I like to do the big Cool Whip. Fold it in and make it real fluffy. Put that in your graham cracker crust. Okay, you with me? Put your cute little key limes on top. Throw that sumbitch in the freezer for about 2 hours, and there you go. Easy peasy Japanese. You don't even have to turn on the oven. You're welcome. You can also do that with banana cream, pineapple, strawberry, and or cherry. Just make sure that you have the right fruit jello to go with the right fruit. Or else it tastes kind of like a Midwestern salad with a lot of mayonnaise. So, and when in doubt, you can always add marshmallows to a fruit salad and make it last longer. So, there you go. If it involves a recipe with cream cheese, mayonnaise, Cool Whip, or, yeah, that's it. Cool Whip, cream cheese, or mayonnaise. I probably know how to make it. I'm good at finger foods. I'm good at quick stuff. So, But you ask, there you go. You can also go back on my TikTok and watch me make my granny's cheese ball if you want to learn how to do that. Believe it or not, I'm a 4-star chef. Have a certification. Went to Italy, went to Louisiana, cooked in Kentucky. I ain't cook. I don't like to. Long hours, you don't get near enough pay, and everybody bitches about something, so I just cook for people that I like these days. But I did do it for a long time, and I'm pretty good at it. So if you have a question, just holler. And if I don't know it, we'll Google it together. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a bunch, So, if I don't know it, we'll figure it out. We both got smartphones. We got Siri and Elon. We got this. It's probably fine. It's cold as a witch's brew, and I got to put on something other than these sparkly Crocs with these damn charms on because my feet are going to freeze plumb off just like meat chickens. And here it is, 10:30 in the morning. I got to get Sean out of bed. I got to make the bed. I got to clean up the kitchen and fold the clothes, make some coffee, and get the day started. And then try to work on this coop till long about 3 o'clock, and then we got a little appointment we got to go do. So, that's what's going on this Monday. Tomorrow, I get to take my mother to go do my taxes because Sean has his stuff tomorrow and I have my stuff tomorrow. We can't do it together. So, that's going to be fun. You're going to tune in with my mother tomorrow. Maybe we can go live with Banana Gate. Maybe I can talk her into going to the David's Bridal in Bowling Green. That way I can be like, I'm not wearing the same dress that I wore to my first wedding. I swear to God, it's like she's huffing glue. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, it's Trash Guy. I thought it was Thunder for a second. She was like, but it's such a pretty dress. I was like, it was a pretty dress, but I wore it to my first wedding. I'm not going to revamp it and wear it to my second wedding. No. Oh, run, little squirrel. Run, little squirrel. There you go. Squirrels are terrible critical thinkers. They just be there in the middle of the road like, oh, shit, and then they get hit. They're just terrible critical thinkers. And 90% of the trees that you see in the woods is because the squirrel forgot where they buried a nut. It's kind of the story of the projects, too, but that's a different video. That might have been inadvertently racist, and I didn't mean for it to. I'm just saying, sometimes you forget where you plant your seed, and that's how you get a tree. Still a tree, no matter how big it is. Remember that. I don't care if it's a seedling or if it's a big mighty oak. I don't care if it's an acorn. Still a tree. Am I making my point? So, anyway. Somebody said something that sometimes you can incubate grocery store eggs and get your own chickens. And I was like, hold up. That's all I need is an incubator and a dozen eggs. Me and my friend Courtney were talking about this yesterday. She has a bunch of goats, and I want to rent a few of them to eat out my brush line on my hill. Because I don't want goats. I don't want to keep goats. I just need them for like a month just to, eat, And I said, you should start renting goats, like tote a goat. Like put it in a trailer, and you can tote it home and keep it for a couple of days. She said, would that work? And I said, I don't know. I saw the other day where you can finance cows. And then there's a thing up at the Greenup County Library where you can check out a chicken, but you don't keep it for 2 weeks. And they give you 2 weeks worth of food and the thing to feed it with and the thing to water it with and, a heat lamp. And, then you got to provide your own, like, chicken little area for it. But you're not allowed to eat the chicken or kill the chicken or modify the chicken. But after 2 weeks, you should have enough for about 2 dozen eggs. And then you take that chicken back. And they say in big, bold letters, do not drop these chickens in the book return. Because somebody's going to try that. Don't do it. But I'm looking at it going, we should start doing that for each other. Remember, this is how they used to do it in the old days. Be like, hey, I got 2 cows and you trade it for a sheep real quick. Saying we can go back to the old days of bartering. If y'all want to talk about hands off, listen, can we talk about that shit for just a second? For 4 friggin' years, we had no hands on the wheel and we were just cruising like we had a substitute teacher. We finally got Jesus back behind the wheel and you're like, hands off. Where in the world do you want to live? Because I'll help you pack. It doesn't seem like America might be the place for you with its freedom of speech and its freedom of religion and its freedom of everything. Sounds like you need to go on back to a third world country and see what suffering's really like. But if you don't like the government, then quit spending the welfare checks. Okay? If you don't like Trump, turn in your Social Security. If you don't like Elon, then quit using the food stamps. Simple enough. But you can't bitch about Disney World and then go on the Matterhorn all damn day. You can't. You can't. Okay? So, if you don't like it, find a country of your choosing and hit the dirt. Hit the road, Jack. See ya. Don't forget to write. But you can't tell me that for 4 years while we had a bumbling invalid at Weekend at Bernie's in the damn White House, and now we've got somebody going, hey, we need to clean some shit up real quick. And you're like, no, Eric. And I love how y'all are distracted by the birdie. Still, okay, let me explain something to you because I don't think you understood this in World Civ, okay? The stock market is crashing, okay? It's crashing. You know what happens when the stock market crashes? All the investors pull out. All the investors pull out. You know what they do then? They move their shit into bonds. Okay? You know what bonds does for you? It rebuilds the economy and stimulates growth in America. Because we're no longer financing that money and gambling it. We're putting it where we can see it and watching it grow. Okay? That's how bonds work. So, once Trump tanks the stock market and everybody loses their shit for a couple of weeks and everybody's like, oh my God, the tariffs are okay, buckle down, just like in the Bible, 7 years of feast, 7 years of famine. So buckle down, okay? Because once you crash it, you're going to have a huge boom when it comes back, and everybody's going to be living high on a hog. But we have to get through the forest to get to Oz, okay? And a lot of y'all are getting pissed off at the witch at the front of the thing going, I want your shoes. Give her her shoes and we're going back to Kansas. No. Soldier on. Soldier on. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But a revolution is never easy, and a rebuild is always hard, okay? Rome didn't fall in a day, and it wasn't built in one neither. So, pay attention. Pay attention. But the next person I see with a sign that says, hands off this government, all right, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Get your shit. Get all your shit. Pack up all your shit and get. Because if you're that mad at the hand that's feeding you, go work for it yourself. If you're that mad that the bank auditor has found out that the bank has been stealing your damn money for 4 years and you're pissed off at the guy who found the error, you're the definition of shooting a messenger. If you don't like Trump, do something about it. Run against him. Write a letter. Make a call. But if you for one friggin' second think standing in your courthouse square with a poster board from the Dollar General is going to make any lick of difference to anybody, you're out of your damn mind. Faith without works is dead. And that ain't works. You're a blowhard. You're a banging cymbal. You're not doing nothing. You're not doing anything. You're making a ruckus. You're stirring up some dirt. You're stirring up some shit. And you ought to have to lick the spoon for it. So, if you don't like it here and you don't like the way we're running shit, pack it up. Go somewhere else. Anywhere else. There's planes that leave here every single minute of every single day. Get on one. Truly. But if you do believe in America and you do believe in what we're doing and you see the forest through the trees, then buckle down. Pray for our leaders. Be nice to other people. You want to know what the big problem in America is? It has nothing to do with who's sitting in this office. It has everything to do with who's sitting behind the screen. That's a true story. You can't get to the powers that be, so you're going to pick on somebody else who's bigger than you are. All right, I can handle it. You can't. Because a lot of y'all can dish it, but you sure as hell can't take it. And that's okay. But be real careful if you're swatting a hornet's nest without an EpiPen. I've warned you. I've warned you. I've put plenty of y'all in songs, and I'll probably do it till the day that the Lord takes me home. I don't have to be a potty mouth. No, I don't. But this is my page. If you don't like it, scroll the fuck on. True story. You're a consenting adult on a phone that you had to be 18 to purchase with an internet plan that you had to have credit in order to get. If you don't like what I have to say, there's 6 million other people in the world, or not in the world, there's 6 billion in the world. Sorry, my math was wrong. There's literally anybody else you could watch right now. So if you don't like my mouth, I don't care. But thank you for calling it to my attention, because now you're going to go on a song. Don't pick on a comedian. You're not going to go to a Matt Rife show and be like, I hope you don't call on me, motherfucker. Immediately. Target. I'm making you a joke. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't care. Unless you're funding me, fucking me, or feeding me, your opinion really doesn't valid. Buy a t-shirt. I'll consider your opinion. But if all you can say today is something negative about the way I say stuff, you need a job. You need a hobby. You need something. You might need some dick. I don't know. But whatever it is, you ain't going to find it here if you got that kind of attitude. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Sorry. We shouldn't give the haters that much attention, but somebody needs to call them out, because somebody hasn't bitch slapped them in a long time because of the consequences of their action. It's starting to show. So I'm just going to do it with my words. Bang! Sit down. Be quiet. We thank you for your unique contribution. We appreciate your point of view. You're welcome to test that theory and see how it works out for you, which is a southern way of saying, fuck around and find out. Come on with it. You're welcome to test that theory at your earliest convenience and report back your findings. Thank you for watching Sarah Beth Terry. Yeah. But if you are still around, I love you and I mean it. And I can't wait to see you in person, so I hope that you come to a show. And if you want to be pissed off, address me personally. It's always more fun to put you in your place when there ain't an audience. Because if there is an audience, I'm going to make some money off of it. Thank you to our new subscribers for watching the shit show behind the scenes. You get cup dates and all that stuff. I do my coop dates, cup dates. So I'm like, hey there, come to it. That's what we're doing on the coop today. You never know what's going to happen in our house. So if you want me to come to where your neck of the woods is so you can address me personally, you can book us right now. Have guitar, will travel. I thought school was back in session today, but I've seen a lot of youngins, and it's kind of early in the day to be out. So, anyway. I'm really not on when people are like, you're going to have to keep on, or you're going to have a stroke, and you got to calm down. I'm perfectly calm. I just don't deal with stupidity very well. And it's up to the cigarette moms to be like, hey, quit it. As soon as your daddy gets home, go think about what you've done. Or you could get like my mother, who used it as a prop to tell you stuff. Anyway, Tori, I hope you come to the show on Saturday night because I ain't seen you in a while. There's no school. See, Jen? Good to know. Now I know. I was about to call and be like, Skip Johnson, we got a couple of runners. You know, like, there was nothing more terrifying than being truant in Estill County when you was growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, because if they didn't see you at school, they was sending Skip Johnson to come get you, who was our truant officer. And let me explain who Skip Johnson is. He was big as a tree, and he did as he pleased, and everything he did was bad. He is the nicest, most smartest man I probably ever met in my entire life, but I do not want to cross him. And if he showed up on a Harley to get your kid because you kept him out of school too long, oh, that's worse than being called out in the paper for not paying your taxes. Don't make Skipper come after you. Nope. Yes, Tansy, I'm in Campton on Saturday night at the 145 Roadhouse. And it isn't reservations, but if you call Hope and you tell her that you know me and that you love me, she might save you a table. You might have to sit with some more fans. But all my fans seem to get along, and then, you know, they make groups, and that's how we end up with the hive. So, you know, I like to bring together like-minded people. And then I like to talk to you about stuff and sing you songs. That's what I do. And then there's always one party pooper in the bunch that's like, watch your mouth. Can't. It's under my nose. I'm trying. Somebody the other day said, quit smoking. Well, I tried that too, but I can't keep the gum lit, and the patches keep pulling the skin off my damn mouth. So cigarettes it is. At least I'm not addicted to crack. At least I'm not whipping my kids and cheating on my taxes and voting Democrat. There's worse things. There's worse things. I promise. So, I'm not picking on the Democrats. I just wish that y'all weren't like the Westboro Baptists. The loudest and the weirdest of y'all is the ones that get on TV. And I'm like, who voted y'all the leader? This can't be right. I don't think there was a vote. I know y'all didn't vote for your nomination. I don't know if you vote to talk for you, you know. Hell, I've had more nominations than Kamala. But she's disappeared real quick, ain't she? It seems like she'd be real up in arms and at the leader of all these big protests, but you ain't seen hiding her hair or her since her drunk concession speech. I'm thinking they sent her on back to wherever she was from. We was waiting on the 23andMe to figure out where that was. She changed races like I changed hairstyles. But then again, I've always identified as black from the lungs down because I smoke menthol. So, you know, to each their own. Yay, Tansy's coming with the babies. There's no more Girl Scout cookies left that I don't know about, is there? Because I could sure use. Am I past the season? Can we get them out of season? Lord. I've already got a couple of text messages popping through. It's like someone wants to send you a message. I'm like, ooh. I hope they're mad. I hope I get to make them cry. I don't mean to make anybody cry on purpose, but if you come at me sideways, I'm gonna strike back. I wish I'd come up to North Idaho too. I hear y'all got a lot of taters up there. I love taters. So find me a place to play. We're going to be in Montana and South Dakota. It can't be that much further. You have so many come to... Listen, Tansy, bring them to the show. We'll let you sell Girl Scout cookies in the merch booth. Like you buy Girl Scouts cookies, you get an SPT sticker or something. We'll work together. How about that? So, can I just announce that? Is it okay? There's going to be Girl Scout cookies at my show Saturday night. See, too late now. You have to come. That's going to be my new motto. Make them laugh till they cry. Anyway. Burr, it's cold out here. There must be some churros in the atmosphere. That's a throwback. And I'll tell you something else that's a throwback that I said the other day, and no one laughed. I was fixing breakfast, and I put my knife right through the toast. I went, I pierced the toast. And no one laughed. I was like, where are my bird cagers? Seriously? I could quote that. I could quote Designing Women, which, by the way, can we address this real quick? The whole Molly story, yes, it was featured on a 1987 episode of Designing Women. But you know where they got that story? You know how many Mollys I've met in Appalachia because it was the first youngin' born in the hospital? That wasn't the first Molly. So before you get all up in arms, art is based on life and life is based on art, and sometimes the two coincide. So don't come at me to cite my references on some shit that you saw on YouTube and you didn't watch all 25 seasons that Linda Bloodworth Thomason put out on ABC. So if you don't like it, do your research. If you have a funnier story, tell it. But if you don't, and you have nothing nice to say, shutteth the fuck up. So, you know. So, see, Teresa's excited. If you come to the show on Saturday night, Tansy's going to have Girl Scout cookies. And I'm so excited because she's my best girlfriend other than Kayla from Tansy. There was only two of them that I kept up with out of the whole damn bunch. This year's our 20-year college reunion. They're like, are you coming? I'm like, no. We were going to be in Lexington. Nah. We were really close to Tansy. No, I don't want to. Chances are, if I wanted to keep up with you in the last 20 years, I would have done it already. And sure as hell, y'all weren't keeping up with me. Matter of fact, some of you mean girls didn't even graduate. You just started a small business, started picking on everybody else again. What's that like? What's that like to peak in high school and just think that your shit don't stink because you married the high school quarterback? What's that like? What's that like to have two of the most entitled, bratty kids in the whole wide world who are not as smart as you claim that they are and they're not coordinated enough to play soccer? What's that like? I just want to know. Because y'all were mean as fuck to me in high school and then you married all the high school jocks and now you're just mean older women. Thought y'all had mellowed out with Valium and vodka by now, but it might be genetic. You might have just been born a bitch and can't even help it. I never thought about that possibility. Some people are born like that. I was born a queen, so I don't know. I was born famous. But in the meantime, you know who you are, and you probably don't even watch my damn Facebook because I'm below you. You were mean in high school. You were real mean in college. Then you were real friggin' snooty in your 20s and 30s. Now that you're in your 40s and trying to push your kids down everybody's throat, living vicariously through their pageants and their ball games, I don't like you. I don't like you then, I don't like you now. I'm probably not going to shop in your store because you weren't nice to me. And I remember that shit because elephants don't forget, okay? So, sometimes a simple, I'm really sorry I was a bitch to you in high school, will get you a free t-shirt. Sometimes you continuing to be an entitled friggin' asshole will make me call you a twat waffle in a song and then I'll make rent off of it. So, you know, choose your card accordingly. Just saying. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe you're just a bitch. Yeah, I wrote, so this bitch. And did you know that bitch got the nerve to go ahead and get skinny? So now I'm going to have to write a part 2. So this skinny bitch, she didn't do it naturally. She's doing Ozempic and cocaine and probably had gastric bypass. I know that because she's went batshit crazy and her arms still look like balloons. If you're losing it on the right schedule, then you don't end up with all that extra skin and going batshit crazy. I'm not being rude, but I've had a couple family members who've had that weight loss surgery and they come back crazier than before. And I'm like, hell, they done took your good sense with your ass fat. My Aunt Jeannie's watching right now. She knows a couple of them that have come to Christmas. What the hell's wrong with them? I'd rather be fat and smart than to be skinny and ignorant. Lord. And I don't mean anything bad by it, but, you know, you can't take a selfie from space and thinking that somebody's going to think that's what you look like. You just can't. So. Anyway, if you have fallen down the rabbit hole of the Sarah Beth Terry songs, everybody's quoting So This Bitch. That's off of the War Paint album. That's off of album 6. I'm sitting on a horse in war paint in that album cover. It's pretty easy to find. But there's also like 7 other albums where I got real good and pissed off at everybody around me, including my husband, which is why I'm engaged to somebody new now. So, you know, if you like something, let me know. Be like, hey, I heard this song, blah, 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 and it's my new favorite. Well, that's awesome. Because I wrote all of them for a reason. May not be my favorite songs now, but I wrote them off for a reason. I was going through something, figured out somebody was too. I told Mom I was going to write her a new parody because every time that she calls me, she's like, look at this. Look at this on the floor. Look at that. Look at that dog. And I'm like, I can't see that. She's like, but look how cute that is. I'm like, I can't see that. The camera's not, but look. And I'm like, Mom, turn the phone around. Mom, I can't see nothing. I'm like, I want to call like Gloria Estefan and do a whole parody. Now it's upside down. I was working on a new song called Son of a Bitch. And it's about dating this guy whose mother's a bitch. Working on the bridge. But in the meantime, y'all want to hear a new song before I get off here? Let me get my guitar. Hang on. That's what happens to the chickens when I'm done. Take on my guitar. It went from 70 to 40, so this is going to fall out of tune. That's all right. My fingers are so cold. I woke up crying for no damn good reason, but I didn't start writing a suicide note. And I blame my red eyes on the season and laughed off the tears with a joke. Like everybody, I have good days and bad days, but I don't claim neglect or abuse. It ain't on my radio, but still I wanna know whatever happened to having the blues. My fingers are freezing. I get my heart broke. I see it coming. I bounce back quicker every time. It ain't too long till my heart starts humming, and I try to wrangle around. And every song that pours out this heartache, it's just the muse collecting her dues. It's the process of loving and leaving, though whatever happened to having the blues. Whatever happened to just having the blues? Now it's something you can take, or it's something you can use, but I don't need a drink or a pill to get through. Whatever happened to having the blues? Well, there's a story about a young man who sold his soul for a little bit of fame. Then he vanished one day into thin air. Now you can't remember his name. When I think about him, my heart grows heavy. 'Cause tell me who hasn't been in his shoes. I know without him we wouldn't know all about them, and whatever happened to having blue. Whatever happened to just having the blues? Now it's something you can take, it's all something you can use. But I don't need a drink or a pill to get through. Whatever happened to having the blues? No, I don't need a drink, just a song to get through. Whatever happened to having the blues? That's new. I wrote that the other day. So anyway, time to get busy with the day. If you like what I do, then share it with your friends. If you don't, then, bitch about it and I'll write it in a song. I don't give a damn. But if you do like it, order something, follow something, listen to something, share something, like something, subscribe to something. Help me out a little bit, because every dime that you spend is a dime in my gas tank, so I can come to where you are and play this shit in person. That's how this works. If you want me to come to where you are, leave us a message. We'll be glad to schedule it. If you don't like what I'm saying, leave us a message. Be glad to call you out. If you like me and I could use the good vibes right now, do that too. Hell, just reach out and touch someone. Hands, touching hands, reaching out. See? Neil Diamond was right. So, in the meantime, be nice to yourself and somebody else. Be careful in this weather today. Turn around and don't drown. Don't try to cross a lake if you can't. You're not Jesus. You can't walk on water. So, stay home. Do some shit for a rainy day. If you do have to get out and about, just be careful and make sure you've got some extra shit in your car in case somebody else needs it. In the meantime, I love you and I mean it. There ain't a damn thing that you can do about it. And as always, I am Sarah Beth Terry and you're not. Bye.